So in part one of my story of how I made my first 100K from home, I told you that I had figured out that I was going to write resumes for money from home. And I did this because at the time, I needed to be able to make enough money for my kids to stay in daycare over the summer, which at that time was $140 a week. So I figured if I charged minimum $50 to rewrite a resume, then if I did 3 resumes that week, then my kids would be able to keep their place in daycare. And this is a skill that I already had. Like, I've been writing my own resumes for my sales interviews for years. I was even writing my friends' resumes. I had written my mother's resume. So it's something that I knew how to do, I was interested in, and I was very good at it. So I had my prices set. I knew what I was going to do. I knew what I was going to offer. Now I just had to find some clients. So I went over to Craigslist. I went to their writing and editing portion of the website. I started placing my own ads. I put my phone number on there, and people were texting me, asking me to revise their resume for them. In my first week, I was able to make that $140 a week I needed to keep my kids in daycare. However, I definitely wasn't going to get rich doing it that way. But I was so excited that I had a goal and I wanted to do something about it so I could get to it, and I did it. I did not have a website. This literally cost me no money, just a little bit of time to get on Craigslist and write up a few ads and begin to post them daily. At the time, I offered 2 services. One was a resume revision, and then another was for scratch. So I think for revisions, I might have charged like $35 at the time, which is really, really cheap. And then from writing from scratch, I would charge anywhere from $75 to $100. One good thing I liked about people finding me on Craigslist is that I could negotiate the prices. So sometimes I would get somebody that needed a resume and I could say, hey, I would charge $150 for it. And with that one job, I would cover what I needed for the week in daycare and be able to make a little bit of extra money for like groceries or gas or something like that. I also was able to make a little extra money as well for offering last minute services. So if somebody needed a resume tomorrow, I would tack on an additional $35, $50, $75 in order for me to turn it around that fast. So at this point, my income was probably around $300, $350 a week. If I did $500 in 1 week, I was doing good, but I also was working a whole heck of a lot. It wasn't until I added this service to my business that I started making the real money. Like and share for part 3.